It's not only fake IRS agents, my friend, that we have to worry about. Cyber criminals are using tax software like TurboTax, you know that, right? To file fraudulent tax returns and steal people's tax refunds. With more on this, Jim Penrose, a former head of the National Security Agency's Operational Discovery Center and now an executive vice president at cybersecurity firm Darktrace, and Ed Mierzwinski, program director at U.S. Public Interest Research Group. Welcome to you both. Jim, I'm going to start with you. Describe this scam, if you will, in more detail. I think it's hard for people to understand. I'm used to TurboTax. I use it all the time. How could I possibly be at risk using such a normal product?
Well, what's happening is, as a regular consumer, you don't realize that a hacker who has your personal information may be able to actually open an account for you or to get your password reset and actually file your state tax return without you realizing it. So when you lose your critical information, like your home address, your date of birth, your social security number, information about the number of kids you have, that can actually be used to file your taxes and to have that money sent to, say, a direct deposit or some sort of debit card that can be recharged. And that's how the hackers will get the money, just by knowing your personal information.
Senator Ron Wyden today at a Senate hearing had this to say about the issue. Listen to this.
Tax preparation software has become the scammers' new fast lane. These sharks manage to acquire a taxpayer's personal data from the black market or hack into commercial databases, and then they file false returns electronically. The victims may not find out until much later in tax season, and by then it's just too late. Already there have been thousands of reports like this in 2015. As we'll hear today, some software vendors aren't doing enough to help prevent fraud.
All right, so you hear Wyden there. He's saying that it's the fast lane for criminals. Ed, to you, is there really anything that can stop this?
Well, I think it's very clear that the states were on top of this pretty quickly, and TurboTax denied everything. And so we're looking forward to hearing, well, how did TurboTax let this happen? Only after it happened did TurboTax go to two-factor authentication and other methods to try to protect people. Two-factor authentication means if you log in from a new computer, they've got to contact you over your cell phone or somehow and send you a special code so they know that you are you. But there is so much personal information floating around. I'm wondering whether people are also getting social engineering phone calls or phishing, phishing emails to collect this information from them. People got to be careful with their personal info.
Absolutely right. And I want to read an Intuit statement, one that they gave us a few days ago. They won't give us a new one. Allegations, they say, from former employees are without merit, filled with inaccuracies, and rely on a complete misunderstanding of the realities of Intuit's business. Julie Miller here from Intuit basically saying the allegations are untrue and unfair. But I want you to hear from Shane McDougall, whistleblower who worked at the company. Here's what he had to say.
Ultimately, the hackers are to blame, but Intuit, and I'm going to assert other industry leaders, are to blame. Intuit knew that fraud was happening, and they deliberately rolled back the protections, rolled back the alerting of the IRS so that more fraudulent returns would get through that they could book as revenue.
Jim, does a whistleblower have that right? Do you agree with him? Do you really think that Intuit is sacrificing safety of their customers for money?
Well, I think what's happening here is anytime you squeeze the balloon of fraud, it's going to be deflected and move to a different part of the industry. So if you do better fraud detection at